After a brief stint of sanctioned dogfighting and simping like my name was Electro King for half of Pokemon Scarlet's characters, which you should definitely check out by the way, we're back at it again with the prison break portion of Walking Dead Season 2. This complex escape strategy will require the amount of crack Michael Schofield smoked when he got that full body tattoo of the prison, which is where I and my subscribers come in. So let's go smoke some crack off White Kanye's ass, you'll see why later in the video, and start Walking Dead 2 on Crack Part 3. Episode starts off with Clementine staring at a butterfly, making the player think the butterfly effect will be in full effect this game. You know, your choices mattering. You'll see why it doesn't soon enough. The Gestapo guard tells us to hurry up, and apparently Sarah couldn't hold it in till Auschwitz. Sarah thinks I was forced to accompany her, which I probably was, but I have to continue honing my gaslighting skills to escape in the future, so I make her think we're buddies. An unforeseen consequence is a remark on P watching me when it's my turn, which triggers my 2 girls 1 cup PTSD. SS operative Kanye asks us if we have any kidney stones, God bless this gentleman, before our Fuhrer shows his kinky side. Carver says stop dick watching, to which I dick watch even harder, but he shows me why he finished top of his class in the National Reich Wimbledon match. The meth addict is still here, unfortunately, and compared to her, Sarah's my sister from another mister. A bruised up mister who undoubtedly finally got caught for impersonating a doctor, but nonetheless a mister.
What are you doing? Playing doctor.
We got the whole gang here sans Luke on an express trip to Fox River State Penitentiary. Kenny tries to rally the forces, but apparently Bill has the rest of the group on a leash tree. Rebecca leashing Alvin, Carlos Sarah, and then the main dog walker is Carver. Yeah, what the fuck? Is he Bill now? I can already feel it the second we land there. I tried to stop them, Bill, but they forced me to come with them, and I tried coming back, but they wouldn't let me. Carlos hits Kenny with some eloquent wordplay, to which Kenny reacts with,
I don't know what the fuck you're saying, but I know it's bullshit.
I haven't a clue what's going on here, but I'll act like I do.
Kenny starts cutting his binds off a metal rail, and he's got a point. Last time we were locked up, we indirectly lost 3 team members because of it.
Clem, the adults are talking.
What? Adults? What adults? Where are they? Show them to me. I've been doing everything this entire time. Before it was, Clem, we need your help. Carver's gonna get us. Save us, Clem. Maybe if you listened when I said we were being searched for, we wouldn't be in this predicament. Apparently, though, Carlos is content to treat Luke like Obi-Wan and wait to be swooped away. And a freed Kenny drops some bars.
I have guns. What exactly do you expect to do?
I'm gonna punch the first son of a bitch I see. Then I'm gonna take his gun and use it to shoot the next son of a bitch I see.
Unfortunately, though, he can't seem to make it past the first defense of the truck door, but I feel like he did okay, all things considered. That door is a pretty tough nemesis. The Gestapo are waiting for us, unloading the truck, and unfortunately with his restraints off, Kenny's going right to the gas chamber. Also, this bitch is back from 400 days, and we make our way through dystopia with the same rednecks who stormed the Capitol guarding us. We have the Fuhrer looking like Baxter Stockman about to release the Mousers on New York again. After we get a speech, which makes me double check the calendar to make sure it's not 1984 again, Carlos is taken to help some patients, which sends Sarah into chromosomal arrest. I tell Sarah he's only getting the milk and he'll be back soon, but her follow-up question proves an admirable counter. He provides Rebecca a bed, which, fantastic, she'll freeze to death, but at least her back won't break. Wouldn't want anyone other than you to do that now, would we? Our neighbors include a call cell operator looking to get your credit card info who stole these drip. This guy was supposed to escape with them, although he fell, which I wouldn't clown the team for leaving their man behind, except for the fact that my ass would be jumping over him like this to get away. The SS come to get Alvin, and this is why Telltale died. We'll get to all that at the end of the video, so stay tuned, but Bill wants to have a word with him up in his office. Kanye tells Reggie he's real close to being let out, which, even from here, Now, it's either the lingering 2 girls 1 cup memory, or it's that horseshit he's giving out. As we're conversing, we have Lee at home, tells us to shut up, he wants to rest before tomorrow's forced labor. There's also a person I presume to be a woman who looks like she was on the receiving end of that 1 cup on that fateful day. Reggie here seems to have had his balls chopped off when they took his arms and says, "It's not that bad, we have a greenhouse now," which makes up for the prison labor conditions that would give the US prison system some new ideas. ideas. But the conditions are only temporary. Oh, okay, that makes it all better. If this guy was real, he'd have all the crypto community looking at him like this, getting ready to snag his life savings for titty milk coin or something. Me and Kenny make a plan and I start poking around the base for weaknesses. Nick is just sleeping away from the group, making it a lot easier for the writing team to animate him. I try opening the metal curtain and oops. Sorry, Reggie. Troy tells Reggie he'll tell Dad about what he did when he gets home later, which activates his fight or flight response. After a good night's sleep, Troy kicks my ribs in and William gives us the rundown of a minor Walker situation. Where have we seen this before? As I'm trying to absorb his knowledge. Sarah keeps interrupting me, flexing on how she slept fantastically and gets called out by Carver. He tells Carlos he's gonna have to wife-beater alcohol tag team duo her shit and it has to be a good one, else Kanye will do the punishing instead. And after telling us a whole graduation from Spotify, Carlos is left with little choice. Oh my lord. Man rocked her shit. Even had Troy impressed. Man didn't have to drop her like he was in Slap Fight. Man must have been taught that technique from the mountains of Tibet under my father's training himself. That was just beautiful to watch. Ah, there are my girls. When I break out of here, you guys are invited to the Smoke Fest.
Come on, come on, come on. Feel that?
Emily George.
All right, yeah. Nice to meet you.
Well, shit. Bonnie tries making small talk with me, which I've taken the liberty of recording our conversation.
Hey, I guess you're starting your day with me.
Where's the wrist tic-tac-toe maker?
We're loading magazines.
Better than loading more meth into your system.
I suppose I owe you an apology.
Go fuck yourself.
And I was shown a kindness I never would have expected from a group of strangers.
Maybe if you stopped home-wrecking strangers, you'd actually meet some nice ones.
For no one to get hurt. I truly believe that was the intent.
That's because it's your fault. You led them to us.
If I could change it, I would. I promise you.
And I should believe you now. All I know about you is that you're a liar.
How was your first night in the yard?
We had hating at the ski lodges.
Well, you got them skinny arms. And you ain't wearing a jacket.
I could eat off any part of your body. Who you callin' skinny? After I get called up to the big leagues, she gives me a pride jacket. Is this some sort of gender, sexuality, switcheroo grooming technique I should be wary of? Of course, Goodwill Oprah is not an ally and calls me the F word, the one that'll get you insta-banned in League of Legends. I get taken to the greenhouse on the roof where I see Sarah acting like every Kanye fan over the last week.
He made graduation, he made graduation, he made graduation, he made graduation.
Reggie is going to be our instructor and tries guilt-tripping me into not sabotaging him further. Perish the thought, I respond as I try to find a way to light the greenhouse on fire. Pretty menial task, pick the berries, put them in the basket, cut off the dead branches. I tell him I'll take care of Sarah and help her and he thanks me bye.
That was awkward. I won't do that again. I'm gonna go work now.
Impeccable, Riz. I don't see why this fine specimen of a tech support operator doesn't have every woman within viewing distance salivating at the bald spot ussy. I decide to help Sarah, and it goes really well. Yeah, you would think. Apparently, Sarah's mental development is still under a 3-year-old's, and she can't pick the berries off a plant. Carver comes in, causing Reggie to panic, but nothing wrong really happened. We're still working. It's just taking the kids a while to get a hang of it. Okay, apparently not. There's a curfew to when you can pick blueberries for some reason. Not as if the little girl or the cripples of mental and physical variants can work construction. So why is he so mad? I tell him it was Sarah's fault because, you know, you made her dad abuse her. He asks if I'm looking for a rematch, and to get out of his radar, I respond with no, mein Fuhrer. He makes us wait outside, in which I imagine he's gonna whip out the belt like... Now let's make a poll. Answer down below in the comments what you would do in this situation. A. Tell Reggie to stay overtime until he finishes the berry tree circumcision. B. Tell the children to do better since Sarah is mentally scarred, maybe give her another almighty god slap. Or C. Murder Reggie. He chose C. Apparently Alvin's child isn't enough, you need to take Carlos's spawn as well. I tell Bonnie Reggie got popped by William and she can't believe someone named William would be capable of doing that, and so she goes to confirm for herself. That's the face I'd make if I got schlumped by a William. Unfortunately, Reggie's life was cut short on the lowest of lows. That's why he should have become a TCLR subscriber. Unlike established titles, there's no scam here. The second you click that subscribe button, not only are you immune to any attacks from people named William, William or Contavious. You instead become a peak physical specimen, crimson chin level of jawline, absolutely shredded pecs, a penis so large that getting hard would cause an entire apartment complex to collapse. So leave a like and subscribe for not only that, but to, more importantly, not miss out on future content. I arrive with the cement, but Kenny is staging a counter Black Lives Matter protest, so I have to intervene. I tell him Reggie got killed by William, which is so insane even the walkers had to make sure they didn't miss here. Considering this floorboard has proven to be an ineffective weapon, I decide to confuse them by playing tag, which works. Apparently I'm trying to lift Thor's hammer and I make the rookie mistake and trap myself in the theater in COD Black Ops Zombies. After giving the first zombie a lesson in the way of the sword, the other one gets popped by Ye. After ignoring the easiest slavery joke in my life as I'm leaving,
No!
Hey, hey, it's me, Luke. Okay, just calm down. Come all this way. This is the welcome I get.
Luke. He couldn't let Kenny one-up on him on the come-out-of-nowhere charts and has those obvious night before cramming bags. The unit he was studying was Prison Break, though, and he has a brilliant plan. A walker herd, the one Bill mentioned earlier, is coming, and that if we can get a radio, he can control us like that one mission in COD Black Ops 1. If I had a nickel for every COD Black Ops 1 mention in this video, I'd have 2. Not a lot, but it's weird it happened twice. Troy's looking for me and is about to unleash the Carlos special on my ass after finding out I was in an off-limits comic book shop. Yeah, but I tell him I was jerking off to the Cat in the Hat DC magician person, to which he understands and lets me off the hook this time. Bill radioed me, and as I'm making my way up, it's Wyatt's turn to make an appearance in the most pointless of dialogues. I mean, you might as well have just not added him, given Nick a scene or two to make us feel something from saving him last episode. I walk upstairs to a distraught Rebecca and police brutality. Oh wait, it's the Fourth Reich, no one cares. He tries gaslighting me into believing Reggie had to die, and I agree, because I don't have the pants in this relationship yet. Also, this statement by Clementine is probably true. After getting back, I hear Kenny's plan to attract the herd of walkers using the 1984 loudspeakers, and I chime in with Luke's radio plan. Kenny makes a callback to Crawford, expanding my nostalgia boner to the good old days. Eventually, I tell them we can do both plans, get Luke the radio, and we can use that to Pac-Man our way through the walkers. It's foolproof. Kenny likes the plan, even though it's an admittedly stupid one, which ends up with us improvising at the end, you know, after we reach the walker horde and leave Carver's forces to our back. So in case we ever want to get pounded harder than Korean soccer, we'll have that plan in our back pocket, I guess. Rebecca remarks on the impossibility of juking through an entire herd of walkers like Messi in the World Cup until the One Cup woman chimes in. She does it all the time.
First words I ever hear you say, and it's just some crazy, stupid shit.
I'm not gonna lie, it might be coming for Kenny's Goblin Mode trophy. She says if you rub walker guts all over your body... hold on, that sounds like a dark web fetish. I'm going to spoon my eyes out now. But in this instance, we can use it to juke by the walkers, and I remember that's what Lee did.
Covered.
Lee figured that out.
What?
It's how we got out of the Marsh house. Lee covered me and we walked right through.
Really? Holy shit. Oh, good one, Lee.
Jane, the woman, has a plan to snag the radio, which involves sending an 11-year-old girl to sneak past armed guards and hitman her way through to snag a radio. This plan is so stupid it just might work. I don't think special forces of the Gestapo are going to expect an 11-year-old girl to swipe their shit. It might be brilliant. After James Bond villaining my way up, I take note of the siege that's about to start before slithering into the storage room. I see the radios, but the army recruiter is conversing on the phone.
I don't think Bill was gonna let him back in.
No! Really? I was worried at first, what, with me being an 11-year-old, but the chromosome deficit seems too large for them to overcome, calming my nerves.
To the left. Take it back now, y'all.
I take the two radios, and as I'm making my way back, hey, it's Vince. And he's gonna snitch on her for smoking. That ain't my Vince. My Vince would have popped her for the glory of the Yakuza. Can't believe Carter neutered you too. I get back, radio retrieved, and as we're lying to sleep, Jane proves she'd be an awful motivational speaker and mother, and Kenny talks about how stupid Duck was, who, was pretty damn stupid, not gonna argue with him there. We convened in the next morning for our prison camp book club to figure out who's gonna give Luke the radio until Aunt Jemima comes in to take the woman and and Nick because he's been missing in action this entire episode. I can't wait till we get to the end of the video. Mike tries to do it, but Kenny trusts an 11-year-old ahead of him, so I'm tasked with getting the radio to Luke. Kenny sees my pockets out and tries fixing my drip, to which Clementine takes as a slight because antenna sticking out of a jacket isn't going to impress the cool prison kids from Prison Camp 11. And then this stupid motherfucker Bonnie has to take me deviating from the path of our old plan, despite me and Kenny trying to let her know, I want to be with my boy.
Well, today I need it more.
Well, today I need your more. She tells me she spoke to the Fuhrer about Reggie and expected an excuse, but apparently he said it matter-of-factly, like Reggie was just a rabid dog that needed to be put down. Which, I mean, to be fair, he has been in doggo mode longer than even Alvin this episode, so I could see his reasoning. I tell Bonnie I need to give the radio to Luke, which might seem stupid since she isn't up, but I threaten to tell Bill she's 1/16 Jewish and her hands are tied. I make my way back to the comic book store, but I might as well have been searching for my father with how missing Luke was. Kanye finds me though, and after beating me harder than Carlos ever could, we're taken back to the camp where we witness Luke getting treated by the phony doc, and Carver rambling about the next great leap forward or something, and wants the second radio in his hand by the count of 3. Clem, being a child, quickly activates like a sleeper agent when he starts counting down, and Kenny decides to take the blame for it because he's Kenny. And Kenny starts getting his ass beat in the orbital cavity by Carver with said radio, as my attempt to stop it is fully countered by Kanye deciding for his next great speech he's gonna give domestic abuse a try. As the Fuhrer decides to starve us, really put the suggestion in the Geneva Convention, Bonnie lets us know that we're leaving tonight. I wake up later that night to an argument of the sidemen about the plan, and with Kenny out of action, it's pretty much the special ed class trying to communicate with each other. Carlos says he couldn't save his eye. Shocker, I know. The other boys say we'll have to leave without Kenny, and Sarita makes a good point. What the fuck are they doing here? Because Rebecca couldn't close her legs without Carver being stuck between them, then decided to ditch the crazy potential baby daddy. That led to Prince fucking Zuko going on a quest to find the Avatar or something. That sounds like a relationship problem. What are any of us doing here? Should've just tied her up to the windmill and let Carver take her back when we had the chance. I don't even blame Luke, honestly. We gotta get out of here, even if it means leaving my boy behind. And then Kenny comes in with that high off the adrenaline of losing his eye to someone named William and needing that rematch. We're good to go. Not gonna lie, the writers were sucking off Kenny hard this episode. They had his entire nutsack in their mouths. They even self-inserted themselves into Nick's only meaningful line this episode, along with Mike's, just to remove any doubt of bias. We decide to meet in an old Civil War museum, leaving Lee and Omid punching the air since they can't come. All we need is someone to start the PA system.
Wait, hold on.
Nah, it's okay. Leave an 11-year-old as your only hope. I get to Alvin's lifeless body before I start the PA system and play Jack Midlow's last album on the PA speakers, sure to drag the walkers in an attempt to shut this shit down. Alvin wakes up, and instead of leaving with me, he makes a valiant last stand because the writers couldn't be bothered to write him any more lines for this season, and lets me know
it's gonna be a girl.
I mean, how do we tell him? The writers must be really, really racist, cause my god, they couldn't even give him that. After popping the first guard, Alvin schlumps like a bullshit death in Happy Wheels, and that ends his admittedly underwhelming character arc. I get to William holding up the group, thwarting our escape attempt.
Look at Randy Orton slithering. Watch out!
Kenny and Luke give him the Shaq and Kobe tag team special. I tell Rebecca Alvin's abandoned their family to interview Ronald Reagan in the flesh, and her grief leads to her ordering Luke to kill the Fuhrer. As Carver gives the understatement of the century custody battle, Kenny lets him know it's America. The woman always keeps the baby. Oh my loud, he's going goblin mode, isn't he?
You're all just gonna let him do this?
Yes.
He tries one last desperate attempt to get out of jail, and with that failing, I decide to stand and watch even at the cost of ad revenue. And before he goes out, William gives one last banger banter with Kenny.
Yeah, go on. Let the sheep out of the pen. We'll see how long that lasts.
I'll be right there.
You won't see anything.
That's funny, coming from you. How's that eye? Just follow my voice. It'll get you there. You got a thick fucking skull, Kenneth. Should've put you out of your misery right then. Now look at you. You're a mess. The fuck are you looking at, bitch? Don't act like you didn't love every second.
I just popped your skull so hard, your eyeball just popped out.
We get surrounded in our escape from Vorkuta, and Luke gives me the most midget of weapons to go up against the horde coming after us. After taking out a walker, we start spreading its guts all over us, and Sarah comes up with the dumbest of statements. You're more than welcome to stand and watch, Sarah. Kanye catches up to us, though, and now you might have been thinking this entire episode that due to his latest comments and this episode's sort of off-switch thematic I've been going for, it's probably why I've decided to call Troy Kanye this entire time. It's not. It's so I can make this one singular joke. Everything else just sort of fell into place for me. With us getting held up by Kanye, we're out of options until we realize he'll do anything for a blonde type. And so Jane seduces him before Pop his nutsacks burst like a hot air balloon.
You shot my dick up!
She shot my dick up!
You shot my dick up!
That's the first time I've been hearing that, man. That actually made me chuckle.
This is step one!
Our Vorkuta escape is going well, although the guards are firing on the horde. Would be a shame if one of us were to get shot, especially Carlos. I mean, Sarah would probably...
Dad! Sarah! You're shooting at us! Sarah, get a hold of yourself!
With this plan failing horribly, turning our potential spit roast into a gangbang situation, I'm able to take out some walker until Sarita's bit. With two options, take out the walker or take out her arm, I decide we've already been demonetized, let's make a show of it, with Sarita's blood-curdling scream ending the 7th season of Prison Break. Although I do like the writer's attention to detail, that tibia being sort of fractured, you can see the pieces coming out, is absolutely exquisite. If I had my arm chopped off, I'd want it to look exactly like that. And that's episode 3, the last good episode of season 2. Listen, season 2 is widely viewed as the diarrhea of the Walking Dead game. I more prefer to call it the shit that takes a while to come out, if you will, and for good reason. The next 2 episodes are going to be Goblin Mode with their script, should have been ready last week. Let's pull an all-nighter to finish it level of writing. But the thing that really pisses me off this episode is Alvin and Nick. Now, of course, it isn't the writers' fault. Telltale shut down because they were having the writers just drop Kobe numbers, 50-hour work weeks by Wednesday, so I don't necessarily blame them. If I had to work that long, I'd probably also get extremely tired, and I'm sure there was a lot of stuff that had to be cut due to how much of a success Walking Dead Season 1 was, and how Season 2 was so dog shit they never really reached the heights of Season 1 at the end. Again, Season 2 is still good overall. It's just so many of the cracks, like Nick and Alvin, alright? Both of whom could have died last episode, and saving them offered nothing. No reason. They might as well have not even been in the damn game in the first place, because what's the point? Nick's got 2 lines of dialogue all episode, not even animated for half the cutscenes. The first time when we get there, he's just sleeping away from the entire group, and then Alvin was taken to the torture chamber the moment we stepped into the prison. He had no lines on the bus, and for a choose-your-own-adventure game, this is kind of bullshit. Just kill them off last episode, instead of trying to carry on with some stupid gimmick, which is probably why they ended up dying. I know it's not easy to incorporate all the different scenarios, but with this being an adventure game, if your choices don't really matter, how is it any different from a movie or TV series? Which, you know, there's a reason why they aren't allowed to be fucking streamed in the first place, because if you watch it, then you'd get 0 value from actually paying to watch the movie or show, hurting the brand. So if you could just watch Walking Dead Season 2 play out, knowing that, you know, no matter what you pick, it's going to be 99% the exact same ending, which is exactly what happened to Telltale, you're probably not going to end up buying it. In any case, if you do enjoy, leave a like and subscribe. Next video will be the finale of Season 2, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.